ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथन्वितं तं सजीवम् सद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तु ते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासारि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। शृण्वतं स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तन नित्यन्दस्तोय भद्राणि विदुनुति सुहृत्सतम्। नष्टप्रायस्व भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भागवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Before reciting the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of God and Narayana, unto Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Śrīla Vyasadeva, the author. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma, super soul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai.
I can start first, Prabhu, if it's okay with you.
Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Śrīla Prabhupada. Thank you.
Nam Jai Śrīla Prabhupada. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Shanakam cha shanandam cha shanatanam athatmabhuhu sanat kumaram cha munin nishkriyan urdhvare tashaha. Shanakam, Shanaka cha also Shanandam, Sananda cha and Sanatanam, Sanatana atha thereafter Atma Bhuhu Brahma who self-born Sanat Kumaram, Sanat Kumara cha also Munin the great sages Nishkriyan free from all fruitive action Urdhva Re Tashaha those whose semina flows upwards. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
In the beginning, Brahma created four great sages named Shanaka, Sananda, Sanatana, and Sanat Kumara. All of them were unwilling to adopt materialistic activities because they were highly elevated due to their semina flowing upwards. Purport. Although Brahma created the principles of nescience as a matter of necessity for those living entities who were destined to ignorance by the will of the Lord, he was not satisfied in performing such a thankless task. He therefore created four principles of knowledge, Sankhya, or empirical philosophy for the analytical study of material conditions, Yoga, or mysticism for liberation of the pure soul from material bondage, Vairagya, the acceptance of complete detachment from material enjoyment in life, to elevate oneself to the highest spiritual understanding, and tapas, or the various kinds of voluntary austerities performed for spiritual perfection. Brahma created the four great sages Sanaka, Sanandha, Sanatana, and Sanat to entrust them with these four principles of spiritual advancement. And they inaugurated their own spiritual party or sampradaya known as the Kumara Sampradaya, or later on as the Nimbarka Sampradaya for the advancement of bhakti. All of these great sages became great devotees, for without devotional service to the personality of Godhead, one cannot achieve success in any activity of spiritual value. Text 5. Tan babhashe shvabhu putran prajaha shirjatha putrakaha tan naichan moksha dharmano vasudeva parayanaha. Tan unto the Kumaras as above mentioned, babhashe addressed, swabhuhu Brahma putran unto the sons, prajaha generations, shirjatha do create, putrakaha O my sons, that not Aichan desired, moksha dharmanaha pledged to the principles of liberation, Vasudeva the personality of Godhead, parayanaha who are so devoted. Translation. Brahma spoke to his sons after generating them. My dear sons, he said, now create progeny. But due to their being attached to Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they aimed at liberation and therefore they expressed their unwillingness. Purport. The four sons of Brahma, the Kumaras, declined to become family men even on the request of their great father Brahma. Those who are serious about gaining release from material bondage should not be entangled in the false relationship of family bondage. People may ask how the Kumaras could refuse the orders of Brahma, who was their father and above all, the creator of the universe. The reply is that one who is Vasudeva Parayanaha or seriously engaged in the devotional service of the personality of Godhead Vasudeva need not care for any other obligation. It is enjoined in the Bhagavatam, Deva Rishi Bhutapta Niranam Pitranam Na Kinkaro Nayam Prinicharajan Sarvatmana Yaha Sharanam Sharanyam Gatho Mukundam Parihritya Kartam. Anyone who has completely given up all worldly relationship and has taken absolute shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, who gives us salvation and who alone is fit to be taken shelter of, is no longer a debtor or servant of anyone, including the demigods, forefathers, sages, other living entities, relatives, and members of human society. Bhagavatam 11.5.41. Thus, there was nothing wrong in the acts of the Kumaras when they refused their great father's request that they become family men. Text 6. Sho vaityatah shuterevam pratyakhyatanushashanaihi krodham durvish aham jatam niyantum upachakrame shahahi brahma avadhyatah, thus being disrespected, shutaihi by the sons, evam thus, pratyakhyata refused to obey, anushash anaihi the order of their father, krodham anger, durvishaham too much to be tolerated, jatam thus generated, niyantum to control, upachakrame tried his best. Translation. On the refusal of the sons to obey the order of their father, there was much anger generated in the mind of Brahma, which he tried to control and not express. Purport. Brahma is a director in charge of the mode of passion of material nature. Therefore, it was natural for him to become angry on the refusal of his sons to obey his order. Although the Kumaras were right in such acts of refusal, Brahma, being absorbed in the mode of passion, could not check his passionate anger. He did not express it, however, because he knew that his sons were far enlightened in spiritual advancement, and thus he should not express his anger before them. Text 7. धिया निगृह्या मनोऽपि भ्रुवोर्मध्यात् प्रजापतेः सद्यो जायत तन्मन्युः कुमारो नीललोहितः. Diha by intelligence. Nig Nigryamanaha being controlled, api in spite of, Bhruvoho of the eyebrows, Madhyad from between, Prajapatehe of Brahma, Sadhyaha at once, Ajayata generated, Tat his Manyuho anger, Kumaraha a child, Neela Lohitaha mixture of blue and red. Translation: although he tried to curb his anger, it came out from between his eyebrows, and a child of mixed blue and red was immediately generated. The face of anger is the same whether exhibited due to ignorance or knowledge. Although Brahma tried to curb his anger, he could not do so, even though he is a supreme being. Such anger, in its true color, came from between the eyebrows of Brahma as Rudra, in a mixed color of blue, ignorance, and red, passion. Because anger is a product of passion and ignorance. Oh, so you see, blue is ignorance and red is passion.
Yes, Prabhu.
Because anger is a product of passion and ignorance.
Yes, Prabhu. When they say, when someone gets really angry, they say he's seeing red.
Yes, yeah. Savai ruroda devanam purvajo bhagavan babah namani kuru me dhataha sthanani cha jagadguru. Shaha, he, why, certainly, Rurodha cried loudly, Devanam Purvajaha, the eldest of all demigods, Bhagavan, the most powerful, Bhavaha, Lord Shiva, Namani, different names, Kuru, designate, Me, my, Dhataha, or destiny maker, Sthanani, places, Sha, also, Jagat Guru, or teacher of the universe. Translation: after his birth, he began to cry, O destiny maker, teacher of the universe, kindly designate my name and place. Wow, after his birth, he began to cry, O destiny maker, teacher of the universe, kindly designate my name and place. Text 9. Iti tasya vachah padmo bhagavan paripalayan abhyadhad bhadraya vacha marodish tatkaromi te. Iti tasya his vachaha request, Padmaha one who is born from the lotus flower, Bhagavan the powerful, Paripalayan accepting the request, Abhyadhat pacified, Bhadraya by gentle, Vacha words, Ma do not, Rodhi cry, Tat that karomi I shall do it, Te as desired by you. Translation: the all-powerful Brahma, who was born from the lotus flower, pacified the boy with gentle words, accepting his request, and said, Do not cry, I shall certainly do as you desire. Text 10. Yat arodhi shurashreshta shodvega iva bhalakaha tatastvam abhidhasyanti namna rudra iti prajaha. Okay. Yet as much as Arodhi cried loudly, Shura Shrestha, chief of the demigods. Prabhu, can you scroll down? Showed Vegaha with great anxiety, Iva like Balakaha, a boy, Tataha, therefore, Pam, you, Abhid Hashyanti will call Namna by the name Rudra, iti thus. Prajaha, people. Translation: thereafter Brahma said, O chief of the demigods, we shall be called by the name Rudra by all people because we have so anxiously cried. Okay. Text 11. Hrid Indriyani Ashurvyoma Vayuragmirjalam Mahi Shuryashchandrastapashchaiva Shtanani Agrakirtani te. Hrit, the heart, Indriyani, the senses, Ashuhu, life, air, Vyoma, the sky, Vayuhu, the air, Agnihi, fire, Jalam, water, Mahi, the earth, Shuryaha, the sun, Chandraha, the moon, Tapaha, austerity, Cha, as well as, Eva, certainly, Sthanani, all these places, Agre, here and before, Kirtani, already made, Te, for your translation. My dear boy, I have already selected the following places for your residence: the heart, the senses, the air of life, the sky, the air, the fire, the water, the earth, the sun, the moon, and austerity. Purport. The creation of Rudra, Hare Krishna, Vishnu Prabhu, Garashakti Prabhu, Rishikesh Prabhu, Dheeraj Prabhu,
Hare Krishna, Prabhu
Anurag Pranam,
Stanayam,
Jai
Jai
Shri
Shri
Prabhupada.
Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna,
Pranam,
Prabhu,
Jai Shri
please accept
Prabhupada.
humble obeisances of Ganesh Prabhupada.
Pranam,
Hare
Jai Shri
Bol.
Prabhupada. Hare Bol.
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Purport. The creation of Rudra from between the eyebrows of Brahma as a result of his anger, generated from the mode of passion partly touched by ignorance, is very significant. In Bhagavad Gita, the principle of Rudra is described. Bhagavad Gita 3.37. Krodha, anger, is a product of kama, lust, which is a result of the mode of passion. When lust and hankering are unsatisfied, the element of Krodha appears, which is the formidable enemy of the conditioned soul. This most sinful and inimical passion is represented as ahankara, or the false egocentric attitude of thinking oneself to be all in all. Such an egocentric attitude on the part of the conditioned soul, who is completely under the control of material nature, is described in Bhagavad Gita as foolish. The egocentric attitude is a manifestation of the Rudra principle in the heart, wherein Krodha, anger, is generated. This anger develops in the heart and is further manifested through various senses like the eyes, hands, and legs. When a man is angry, he expresses such anger with red hot eyes and sometimes makes a display of clenching his fists or kicking his legs. This exhibition of the Rudra principle is the proof of Rudra's presence in such places. When a man is angry, he breathes very rapidly, and thus Rudra is represented in the air of life or in the activities of breathing. When the sky is overcast with dense clouds and roars in anger, and when the winds blows very fiercely, the Rudra principle is manifested. And so also when the sea water is infuriated by the wind, it appears in a gloomy feature of Rudra, which is very fearful to the common man. When fire is ablaze, we can also experience the presence of Rudra. And when there is an inundation over the earth, we can understand that this is also the representation of Rudra. There are many earthly creatures who constantly represent the Rudra element. The snake, tiger, and lion are always representations of Rudra. Sometimes, because of the extreme heat of the sun, there is cases of heat stroke, and due to the extreme coldness created by the moon, there are cases of collapse. There are many sages empowered within the influence of austerity, and many yogis, philosophers, and renouncers who sometimes exhibit their acquired power under the influence of austerity, under the influence of the Rudra principle of anger and passion. The great yogi Durvasha, under the influence of this Rudra principle, picked a quarrel with Maharaja Ambarish, and a Brahmana boy exhibited the Rudra principle by cursing the great king Maharaja Parikshit. When the Rudra principle is exhibited by persons who are not engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the angry person falls down from the peak of his improved condition. This is confirmed as follows.
Prabhu, your mic has done something.
What
Or are you
happened?
reading?
No, I'm
Did you
not
read it?
reading. No, you did not scroll down. I was waiting for you.
Ah, yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Yene Ravindaksha Vimuktamaninas. Prabhu, scroll up, Prabhu.
Oh, yeah, it came late for you. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it came late.
yeah, it came late. There's a few seconds lag, I think. Yeah. Tvai Ashta Bhavad Avishuddha Buddhayah Aruhya Krishreena Param Padam Tataha Patanti Adho Nadrita Yushmad Angrayah. Bhagavatam 10:232. The most lamentable fall down of the impersonalist is due to his false and unreasonable claim of being one with the Supreme. Wow, the most lamentable fall down of the impersonalist is due to his false and unreasonable claim of being one with the Supreme. Text 12. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, text 12. Okay. Manyur Manur Mahinasho Mahan Shiva Ritad Vajah Ugraretha Bhavah Kalo Vamadevo Drittavratah Manyuhu. Okay. Manyuhu Manuhu Mahi Nashaha Mahan Shivaha Ritad Vajaha Ugraretaha Bhavaha Kalaha Vamadevaha Dhrittavrataha. All names of Rudra. Translations. Lord Brahma said, My dear boy Rudra, you have 11 other names: Manyu, Manu, Mahinasha, Mahan, Shiva, Ritajvaja, Ugraretha, Bhava, Kala, Vamadeva, and Dhrittavrata. Text 13. Dhir, Dhrithi, Rasaloma cha, Nyut, Sharpir, Ilam, Bhikha, Iravati, Shwadha, Diksha, Rudranyo, Rudrate, Shriyah. Dihi, Dhriti, Rasala, Uma, Niyut, Sharpihi, Ila, Ambika, Iravati, Shwadha, Diksha, Rudran Yaha. The 11 Rudranis, Rudra or Rudra, te unto you, Striyaha, wives. Translation: O Rudra, you also have 11 wives called the Rudranis, and they are as follows: Dihi, Dhrithi, Rasala, Uma, Niyut, Sarpi, Ila, Ambika, Iravati, Swadha, and Diksha. Text 14. Grihan Aitani Namani Sthanani cha Shayoshanah Ebbihi Shudha Praja Bahvihi Prajanam Ashiyat Patihi. Grihana, just accept Etani, all these Namani, different names, Sthanani, as well as places, Cha also, Sayoshanaha, along with wives, Ebhihi, with them, Shuja, just generate, Prajaha, progeny, Bahvihi, on a large scale, Prajanam, of the living entities, Ashi, you are, Yat, since, Patihi, the master. Translation. My dear boy, you can now accept all the names and places designated for you and your different wives, and since you are now one of the masters of the living entities, you may increase the population on a large scale. Purport: Brahma, as the father of Rudra, selected the wives of his son, his living places, and his names as well. It is natural that one should accept the wife selected by one's father, just as a son accepts the name given by the father or as he accepts the property offered by the father. That is the general course in increasing the population of the world. On the other hand, the Kumaras did not accept the offering of their father because they were elevated far beyond the business of generating a great number of sons. As a son can refuse the order of the father for higher purposes, so the father can refuse to maintain his sons in increasing population because of higher purposes. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Any other devotees who would like to read, they can continue. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. This was interesting that father can refuse to maintain his son in increasing population because of his higher purposes. So who wants to read next?
Can I read,
Hare
Prabhu?
Krishna, Prabhu. Yeah, Vishnu,
Okay,
Prabhu, you
go
can
on.
go ahead.
Yes, Prabhu,
just
please.
5 verses, Prabhu. Text 15.
Keep on.
Iti adishta swaguruna Bhagavan Neelalokita Swattakriti Swabhavena Sasarjatma Sama Praja. Idi, thus, Adishta, being ordered, Swaguruna, by his own spiritual master, Bhagavan, the most powerful, Neelalokita, Rudra, whose color is mixed blue and red, Sattva, power, Akriti, bodily features, Swabhavena, and with a very furious mode of nature, Sasarja, created, Atma Sama, like his own prototype, Praja, generations. Translation. The most powerful Rudra, whose bodily color was blue mixed with red, created many offspring exactly resembling him in features, strength, and furious nature. Text 16. Rudranam Rudrasrishtanam Samantat Grashatam Jagat Nishamya Sangyasho Yudan Prajapatir Asangata. Rudranam, of the sons of Rudra, Rudra Srishtanam, who were generated by Rudra, Samantat, being assembled together, Grasatam, while devouring, Jagat, the universe, Nishamya, by observing their activities, Asangyasha, unlimited, Yudhan, assembly, Prajapati, the father of the living entities, Asangata, became afraid of. Translation. The sons and grandsons generated by Rudra were unlimited in number, and when they assembled together, they attempted to devour the entire universe. When Brahma, the father of the living entities, saw this, he became afraid of the situation. Purport. The generations of Rudra, the incarnation of anger, were so dangerous to the maintenance of universal affairs that even Brahma, the father of the living entities, became afraid of them. The so-called devotees or followers of Rudra are also a menace. They are sometimes dangerous even to Rudra himself. Descendants of Rudra sometimes make plans to kill Rudra by the grace of Rudra. That is the nature of his devotees. Text 17. Alam prajabi srishtabir idrishibi surotama maya sah tahantibir dishas chakshurbir ulbani. Alam, unnecessary. Prajabi, by such living entities. Srishtabhi, generated. Idrishibi, of this type. Surotama, or best among the demigods. Maya, me. Saha, along with. Dahantibi, who are burning. Disha, all sides. Chakshurbi, by the eyes. Ulbane, fiery flames. Translation. Brahma told Rudra, O best among the demigods, there is no need for you to generate living entities of this nature. They have begun to devastate everything on all sides with the fiery flames from their eyes, and they have even attacked me. Text 18. Taba adishta badram te sarvabhuda sugavaham tapaseva yada purvam srishta vishvam idam bhavan. Taba, penance, adishta, be situated, badram, auspicious, te, unto you, sarva, all, bhuda, living entities, Sukha avaham, bringing happiness. Tapasa, by penance. Eva, only. Yada, as much as. Purvam, before. Srishta, will create. Vishwam, the universe. Idam, this. Bhavam, yourself. Translation. My dear son, you had better situate yourself in penance, which is auspicious for all living entities, and which will bring benediction upon you. By penance only shall you be able to create the universe as it was before. Purport. In the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the cosmic manifestation, the three deities, Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara or Shiva, are are respectively in charge. Rudra was advised not to destroy while the period of creation and maintenance was going on, but situate himself in penance and wait for the time of dissolution when his services would be called for. Text 19. Tabaseva param jyotir Bhagavantam adokshajam sarvabhuda guhavasam anjasa vindade puman. Tabasa, by penance. Eva, only. Param, the supreme. Jyoti, light. Bhagavantam, unto the personality of Godhead. Adokshajam, he who is beyond the approach of the senses. Sarvabhuda guhavasam, residing in the heart of all living entities. Anjasa, complete. Vindade, can know. Puman, a person. Translation. By penance only can one even approach the personality of Godhead, who is within the heart of every living entity, and at the same time beyond the reach of all senses. Purport. Rudra was advised by Brahma to perform penance as example to his sons and followers that penance is necessary for the attainment of the favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the common mass of people follow the path shown by an authority. Thus Brahma, disgusted with the Rudra generation and afraid of being devoured by the increase of population, asked Rudra to stop producing such an unwanted generation and take to penance for attaining the favor of the Supreme Lord. We find therefore in pictures that Rudra is always sitting in meditation for the attainment of the favor of the Lord. Indirectly, the sons and followers of Rudra are advised to stop the business of annihilation, following the Rudra principle, while the peaceful creation of Brahma is going on. Text 20. Maitreya Uvacha Evam Atmabhuva-dishta Parikramya Giram Padim Badham Idi Amum Amantriya Vivesha Tabase Vanam. Maitreya Uvacha, Sri Maitreya said, Evam, thus, Atmabhuva, by Brahma, Adishta, being so requested, Parikramya, by circumambulating, Giram, of the Vedas, Padim, unto the master, Bhadam, that is right, Idi, thus, Amum, unto Brahma, Amantriya, thus addressing, Vivesha, entered into, Tabase, for the matter of penance, Vanam, into the forest. Translation. Sri Maitreya said, thus Rudra, being ordered by Brahma, circumambulated his father, the master of the Vedas. Addressing him with words of assent, he entered the forest to perform austere penances. Text 21. Text 21. Adabhidyayata sargam dashaputra prajanire bhagavachakti-yuktasya loga sandhana hedava. Ada, thus, abhidyayata, while thinking of sargam, creation, dasha, 10, putra, sons, prajatnire, were begotten, bhagavat, regarding the personality of Godhead, shakti, potency, yuktasya, empowered with, loga, the world, santana, generation, hedava, the causes. Translation. Brahma, who was empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, thought of generating living entities and begot 10 sons for the extension of the generations. Text 22. Marijratri angirasau pulastya puraha kritu Brigur vasishto dakshascha dashamastatra narada. Mariji, Atri, Angiraso, Pulastya, Pulaha, Kritu, Brigu, Vasishta, Daksha, names of sons of Brahma, Dashama, the 10th, Tatra, there. Narada. Translation. Mariji, Atri, Angira, Pulastya, Pulaha, Kradu, Bhrigu, Vasishta, Daksha, and the 10th son Narada were thus born. Purport. The whole process of the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the cosmic manifestation is meant to give the conditioned souls a chance to go back home, back to Godhead. Brahma created Rudra to help him in his creative endeavor, but from the very beginning, Rudra began to devour the whole creation, and thus he had to be stopped from such devastating activities. Brahma therefore created another set of good children, who were mostly in favor of worldly, fruitive activities. He knew very well, however, that without devotional service to the Lord, there is hardly any benefit for the conditioned soul, and therefore he at last created his worthy son Narada, who is the supreme spiritual master of all transcendentalists. Without devotional service to the Lord, one cannot make progress in any department of activity, although the path of devotional service is always independent of anything material. It is only the transcendental loving service of the Lord which can deliver the real goal of life, and thus the service rendered by Sriman Narada Muni is the highest among all the sons of Brahma. Text 23. उत्संगान् नारदो जज्ञे दक्षोऽङ्गुष्ठात् स्वयंभुवा प्राणाद् वसिष्ठः सञ्जातो भृगुस्त्वजिकरात् कृतु. Utsangat, by the transcendental deliberation, Narada, Mahamuni Narada, Jatne, generated, Daksha, Angushtat, from the thumb, Swayambhuva, of Brahma, Pranat, from the life air or breathing, Vasishta, Sanjata, was born, Bhrigu, the sage Bhrigu, Twaji, from the touch, Karat, from the hand, Kridu, the sage Kridu. Translation. Narada was born from the deliberation of Brahma, which is the best part of his body. Vasishta was born from his breathing, Daksha from a thumb, Bhrigu from his touch, and Kridu from his hand. Purport. Narada was born from the best deliberation of Brahma, because Narada was able to deliver the Supreme Lord to anyone he liked. The Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot be realized by any amount of Vedic knowledge, nor by any number of penances, but a pure devotee of the Lord, like Narada, can deliver the Supreme Lord by his good will. The very name Narada suggests that he can deliver the Supreme Lord. Nara means the Supreme Lord, and Da means one who can deliver. That he can deliver the Supreme Lord does not mean that the Lord is like a commodity that can be delivered to any person, but Narada can deliver to anyone the transcendental loving service of the Lord as a servitor, friend, parent, or lover, as one may desire out of one's own transcendental love for the Lord. In other words, it is Narada only who can deliver the path of Bhakti Yoga, the highest mystic means for attainment of the Supreme Lord. Text 24. पुलहो नाभिदो जज्ञे पुलस्त्य कर्णयोर्षि अंगिरा मुगधो कृष्णो तृतीय मरीचिर्मनसो भवत्. Pulaha, the sage Pulaha, Nabhita, from the navel, Jatne, generated, Pulastya, the sage Pulastya, Karnayo, from the ears, Rishi, the great sage, Angira, the sage Angira, Mukada, from the mouth, Akshana, from the eyes, Atri, the sage Atri, Mariji, the sage Mariji, Manasa, from the mind, Abhavat, appeared. Translation. Pulastya was generated from the ears, Angira from the mouth, Atri from the eyes, Mariji from the mind, and Pulaha from the navel of Brahma. Text 25. Dharmasthana dakshinado yatra narayana swayam adharma prishtado yasman mrityur loga bhayam kara. Dharma, religion, Tanat, from the breast, Dakshinata, on the right side, Yatra, wherein, Narayana, the Supreme Lord, Swayam, personally, Adharma, irreligion, Prishtada, from the back, Yasmat, from which, Mrityu, death, Loga, to the living entity, Bhayam Kara, horrible. Translation. Religion was manifested from the breast of Brahma, wherein is seated the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, and irreligion appeared from his back, where horrible death takes place for the living entity. Purport. That religion was manifested from the place where the personality of Godhead is personally situated is very significant, because religion means devotional service to the personality of Godhead, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita as well as the Bhagavatam. In Bhagavad Gita, the last instruction is to give up all other engagements in the name of religion and take shelter of personality of Godhead. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam also confirms that the highest perfection of religion is that which leads to the devotional service of the Lord, unmotivated and unhampered by material impediments. Religion in its perfect form is the devotional service of the Lord, and irreligion is just the opposite. The heart is the most important part of the body, whereas the back is the most neglected part. When one is attacked by an enemy, one is apt to endure attacks from the back and protect himself carefully from all attacks on the chest. All types of irreligion spring from the back of Brahma, whereas real religion, the devotional service of the Lord, is generated from the chest, the seat of Narayana. Anything which does not lead to the devotional service of the Lord is irreligion, and anything which leads to the devotional service of the Lord is called religion. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Anyone can read.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Who wants to read next?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Standard Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. I can read few verses.
Tandat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Yes, Prabhu, thank you.
So, text 26. Hridi kamo bruha krodho lobhaschadara dacchadat ashayad vak sindhavo metran nirti payor agashraya. Synonyms: Hridi, from the heart; Kamaha, lust; Bhruva, from the eyebrows; Krodha, anger; Lobha, greed; Cha, also; Adhara, Dachchadat, from between the lips; Ashyat, from the mouth; Vak, speaking; Sindhava, the seas; Medhrat, from the penis; Nirti, low activities; Payo, from the anus; Angra Ashraya, reservoir of all sins, all vices. Translation: Lust and desire became manifested from the heart of Brahma, anger from between his eyebrows, greed from between his lips, the power of speaking from his mouth, the ocean from his penis, and low abominable activities from his anus, the source of all sins. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A conditioned soul is under the influence of mental speculation. However great one may be in the estimation of mundane education and learning, he cannot be free from the influence of psychic activities. Therefore, it is very difficult to give up lust and the desires for low activities until one is in the line of devotional service to the Lord. When one is frustrated in lust and low desires, anger is generated from the mind and is expressed from between the eyebrows. Ordinary men are therefore advised to concentrate the mind by focusing on the place in between the eyebrows, whereas the devotees of the Lord are already practiced to place the Supreme Personality of Godhead on the seat of their minds. The theory of becoming desireless is untenable because the mind cannot be made desireless. When it is recommended that one should be desireless, it is understood that one should not desire things which are destructive to spiritual values. A devotee of the Lord always has the Lord in his mind, and thus he does not need to be desireless because all his desires are in relationship with the service of the Lord. The power of speaking is called Saraswati, or the goddess of learning, and the birthplace of the goddess of learning is the mouth of Brahma. Even if a man is endowed with the favor of goddess of learning, it is quite possible for his heart to be full of lust and material desires, and his eyebrows to display symptoms of anger. One may be very learned in the mundane estimation, but that does not mean that he is free from all low activities of lust and anger. Good qualifications can only be expected from a pure devotee who is always engaged in the thought of the Lord or in samadhi with faith. Text 27. Chayaya kardamo jagne devahutya pati prabhu manaso dehataschaidam jagne vishwakrito jagat. Synonyms: Chayaya, by the shadow; Kardama, Kardama Muni; Jagne, became manifested. Devahutya of Devahuti, Pati, husband, Prabhu, the master, Manasa, from the mind, Dehata, from the body, Cha, also, Idam, this Jagne, developed, Vishwa, the universe, Krita, of the creator, Jagat, cosmic manifestation. Translation. The sage Kardama, husband of the great Devahuti, was manifested from the shadow of Brahma. Thus all became manifested either from the body or the mind of Brahma. Purport. Although one of the three modes of material nature is always prominent, they are never represented unalloyed by one another. Even in the most prominent existence of the two lower qualities, the modes of passion and ignorance, there is sometimes a tinge of the mode of goodness. Therefore, all the sons generated from the body or the mind of Brahma were in the modes of passion and ignorance. But some of them, like Kardama, were born in the mode of goodness. Narada was born in the transcendental. The transcendental state of Brahma. Text 28. Vacham duhitaram tanvim swayambhur haratim mana akamam chakame kshatta sakama iti na shrutam. Synonyms. Vacham, vak, duhitaram, onto the daughter, tanvim, born of his body, swayambhu, Brahma, haratim, attracting, mana, his mind, akamam, without being sexually inclined, chakame, desired, Kshata, O Vidura, Sakama, being sexually inclined, iti, thus, na, we, Shrutam, have heard. Translation. O Vidura, we have heard that Brahma had a daughter named Vak, who was born from his body and who attracted his mind towards sex, although she was not sexually inclined towards him. Purport. Balavan Indriya Gramo Vidvamsamapi Karshati. It is said that the senses are so mad and strong that they can bewilder even the most sensible and learned man. Therefore, it is advised that one should not indulge in living alone, even with one's mother, sister, or daughter. Vidvam samapi karshati means that even the most learned also become victims of the sensuous urge. Maitreya hesitated to state this anomaly on the part of Brahma, who was sexually inclined to his own daughter. But still he mentioned it because sometimes it so happened, and the living example is Brahma himself. Although he is the primeval living being and the most learned within the whole universe, if Brahma could be a victim of the sexual urge, then what of others who are prone to so many mundane frailties? This extraordinarily immortality on the part of Brahma was heard to have occurred in some particular kalpa, but it could not have happened in the kalpa in which Brahma heard directly from the Lord the four essential verses of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Chaturshloki Bhagavatam, because the Lord benedicted Brahma after giving him lessons on the Bhagavatam that he would never be bewildered in any kalpa whatsoever. Oh, this is very important purport. Sometimes people say that, oh, pure devotees can fall down. Brahma, you see, Brahma also fell down. But here we got the reason. Pure devotees of Lord, they are always protected by the mercy of Lord. But this happened in some other kalpa.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, this is 3, 12, 20, 6, 27. What is that? Verse number
28.
28. Okay. Okay, so I will continue. Yeah. The Lord benedicted Brahma after giving him lessons on the Bhagavatam, that he would never be bewildered in any kalpa whatsoever. This indicates that before the hearing of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, he might have fallen a victim to such sensuality, but after hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, directly from the Lord, there was no possibility of such failures. One should, however, take serious note of this incident. The human being is a social animal, and his unrestrictedly mixing with the fair sex leads to downfall. Such social freedom of man and woman, especially among the younger section, is certainly a great stumbling block on the path of spiritual progress. Material bondage is due only to sexual bondage, and therefore unrestricted association of man and woman is surely a great impediment. Maitreya cited this example on the part of Brahma just to bring to our notice this great danger. Yeah. Haribol, if someone else wants to continue, Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Prabhupada, thank you so much.
Haribol, thank you so much, Prabhu. So who wants to read next? Is there anyone?
I want to read.
Yes, Prabhu. Oh, Hare Krishna, Praveen, Prabhu, Ashish, Prabhu, Tandat, Pram, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
For
Hare
joining,
Krishna.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Tanapran Jesu Prabhu. So text 29, Canto 3, chapter 12, 29. Tam adhame krita matim vilokya pitaram sutaha marichi mukhya munayo vishrambhat pratyabodhayan synonyms. Tam unto him adharme in the matter of immortality, krita matim the mind being so given, vilokya seeing thus, pitaram unto the father, sutah sons, marichi mukhyah her headed by marichi, munayah sages, vishrambhat with due respect, pratyabodhayam subjected as follows. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Thus, finding their father so deluded in an act of immortality, the sages headed by Marichi, all sons of Brahma, spoke as follows with great respect. Purport. The sages like Marichi were not in the wrong in submitting their protests against the acts of their great father. They knew very well that even though their father committed a mistake, there must have been some great purpose behind the show. Otherwise, such a great personality could not have committed such a mistake. It might be that Brahma wanted to warn his subordinates about human frailties in their dealings with women. This is always very dangerous for persons who are on the path of self-realization. Therefore, great personalities like Brahma, even when in the wrong, should not be neglected. Nor could the great sages headed by Marichi show any disrespect because of his extraordinary behavior. Text 30. Naitat purvaihi kritam त्वद्ये न करिष्यन्ति चापरे यस्त्वं दुहितरं गच्छेर् ऐङ्ग्रियान् गजं प्रभुः. Synonyms. Never etat such a thing purvaihi by any other Brahma or yourself in any previous kalpa kritam performed tvat by you, ye that which na nor karishyanti will do, cha also apare anyone else, yaha that which from you duhitaram unto the daughter gachehe would go anigrahya without controlling angajam sex desire prabhu, O father. Translation. O father, this performance in which you are endeavoring to complicate yourself was never attempted by any other Brahma, nor by anyone else, nor by yourself in previous kalpas, nor will anyone dare to attempt it in the future. You are the supreme being in the universe. So, how is it that you want to have sex with your daughter and cannot control your desire? Purport. The post of Brahma is the supermost post in the universe, and it appears that there are many Brahmas and many universes besides the one in which we are situated. One who fills this post must be ideal in behavior, nor Brahma sets the example for all for Brahma sets the example for all living entities. Brahma, living entity who is the most pious and spiritually elevated, is entrusted with a post next to that of the personality of Godhead. Text 31. Tejiyasam api hetan na shushlokyam jagadguro yadvrittam anutishtan Why lokah kshemaya kalpate synonyms teji yasam of the most powerful api also he certainly etat such an act not suitable sushlokyam good behavior jagat guru oh spiritual master of the universe yet whose vrittam character anutishtan following why certainly lokaha the world kshemaya per prosperity kalpate becomes eligible. Translation. Even though you are the most powerful being, this act does not suit you because your character is followed for spiritual improvement by people in general. Purport. It is said that a supremely powerful living entity can do anything and everything he likes, and such acts do not affect him in any way. For example, the sun, the most powerful fiery planet in the universe, can evaporate water from anywhere and still remain as powerful. The sun evaporates water from filthy places and yet is not infected with the equality of the filth. Similarly, Brahma remains unimpeachable, okay, in all conditions. But still, since he is the spiritual master of all living entities, his behavior and character should be so ideal that people will follow such sublime behavior and derive the highest spiritual benefit. Therefore, he should not have acted as he did. Next 32. Tasmai namo bhagavate yad idam यैदं स्वेन रोचिषा आत्मस्थं व्यञ्जयामास स धर्मं पातुम् arhati. Synonyms tasmai unto him namaha obeisances bhagavate unto the personality of Godhead yaha who idam this svena by his own rochisha effulgence atmastham situated in himself Venjayamasa has manifested Saha he Dharmam religion Patum for protection Arhati may kindly do so. Translation. Let us offer our respectful obeisance unto the personality of Godhead who, by his own effulgence, while situated in himself, has manifested this cosmos. May he also protect religion for all goodness. Purport. Lust for sexual intercourse is so strong that it appears herein that Brahma could not be dissuaded from his determination in spite of the appeal by his great sons like Marichi. Therefore, the great sons began to pray to the Supreme Lord for the good sense of Brahma. It is only by the grace of the Supreme Lord that one can be protected from the allurement of lusty material desires. The Lord gives protection to devotees who are always engaged in His transcendental loving service, and by His causeless mercy, He forgives the accidental fall of a devotee. Therefore, sages like Marichi prayed for the mercy of the Lord, and their prayer was fruitful. Text 33. Sayitham गृणतः पुत्रान् पुरो दृष्ट्वा प्रजापतिस्तन्वं तत्याज व्रीडितस्तदा तां दिशो जगृहुर् घोरां निहारं यद् विदुस्तमः. Synonyms: Saha, he, Brahma, Itham, thus, Grinataha, speaking, Putran, sons, Puraha, before, Drishtva, seeing, Prajapatin, all the progenitors of living entities, Prajapati Patihi, the father of all of them, Brahma, Tanvam, body, Tatyaja, quit, Vriditaha, ashamed, Tada, at that time, Tam, that body, Dishaha, all directions, Jagruhu, accepted, Ghoram, blamable, Niharam, fog, at which, Viduhu, they know as Tamaha, darkness. Translation: the father of all Prajapatis, Brahma, thus seeing all his Prajapati sons speaking in that way, became very much ashamed and at once gave up the body which he had accepted. Later, that body appeared in all directions as the dangerous fog in darkness. Purport: the best way to compensate for one's sinful acts is to give up one's body at once, and Brahma, the leader of the living entity, showed this by his personal example. Brahma has a fabulous duration of life, but he was obliged to give up his body due to his grievous sin, even though he had merely contemplated it in his mind without having actually done it. This is a lesson for the living entities how sinful an act it is to indulge in unrestricted sex life. Even to think of abominable sex life is sinful, and to compensate for such sinful acts, one has to give up his body. In other words, one's duration of life, blessings, opulence, etc., are decreased by sinful acts, and the most dangerous type of sinful act is unrestricted sex. Ignorance is the cause of sinful life, or sinful life is the cause of gross ignorance. The feature of ignorance is darkness or fog. Darkness or fog still covers the whole universe, and the sun is the only counteracting principle. One who takes shelter of the Lord, the perpetual light, has no fear of being annihilated in the darkness of fog or ignorance. Text 34. कदाचित् ध्यायतः सृष्टुर्वेदा आसंश्चतुर्मुखात् कथं श्रक्ष्यामि अहं लोकान् समवेतान् यथा पुरा. Synonyms: kadachit, once upon a time, dhyayataha, while contemplating shrashtuhu of Brahma, Vedaha, the Vedic literature, Asan, became manifested, Chatur Mukhat, from the four mouths, Katham Srakshyami, how shall I create, Aham, myself, Lokan, all these worlds, Samavetan, assembled, Yatha, as they were Pura in the past. Translation: once upon a time, when Brahma was thinking of how to create the worlds, as in the past millennium, the four Vedas, which contain all varieties of knowledge, became manifested from his four mouths. Purport. As a fire can consume anything and everything without being contaminated, so, by the grace of the Lord, the fire of Brahma's greatness consumed his desire for the sinful act of sex with his daughter. The Vedas are the source of all knowledge, and they were first revealed to Brahma by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, while Brahma was thinking of creating the material world. Brahma is powerful by dint of his devotional service unto the Lord, and the Lord is always ready to forgive his devotee if by chance he falls down from the noble path of devotional service. The Srimad Bhagavatam confirms this as follows. Bhagavatam 11.5.42 Swapada Swapada Bhajatah Priyasya त्यक्त्यान्य भावस्य हरिः परेशः विकर्म यच् चोत्पतितं कथं चिद् धुनोति सर्वं हृदि सन्निविष्टः. Any person who is engaged 100% in the transcendental loving service of the Lord at his lotus feet is very dear to the personality of Godhead Hari, and the Lord, being situated in the heart of the devotee, excuses all kinds of sins committed by chance. It was never expected that a great personality like Brahma would even think of sex indulgence with his daughter. The example shown by Brahma also suggests that the power of material nature is so strong that it can act upon everyone, even Brahma. Brahma was saved by the mercy of the Lord with a little punishment, but by the grace of the Lord, he did not lose his prestige as the great Brahma.
Haribo. Thank you so much, Prabhu. So tomorrow we continue from 35.
Sure.
Thank you, Prabhu. So tomorrow will be started the same time as today?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, so the timing has changed now to 7:30 India time?
Yes, Prabhu, 1 hour from this time.
Okay. So same like 7:30 daily, 7:30 IST.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare
Maybe
Krishna.
sometimes 15 minutes earlier we start to join, so we can start like exact.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank
Prabhu.
you. Hare Krishna.
Oh yeah, so Brahma gave up the body. Later that body appeared in all directions as the dangerous fog in darkness.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dhanavad Pranam to all of you.
Hare Krishna, Shubham Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for joining, Prabhu. Today we started a little bit early, like 1 hour ago.
Can I start reading the Shikshashtakam, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamaha Davagninirvapanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam.
Karthi Prabhu likes the tune of Goswamishtakam.
Yes, Prabhu.
नाम कार्य बहुधान सर्वसखी तत्रार्पिता नियमित स्मरणेन कालः एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैव मे दृष्टमिहाजनिनानुरागः
त्रिनादपि सुनीचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना अमानिना मानदेन कीर्तनीय सदा हरिः न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवताद्भक्तिरहेतुकी त्वयि ऐनन्दतनुजकिङ्करं पतितं मां विषमे भवाम्बुधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कजस्य धूलिसदृशं विचिन्तय नयनं गलदश्रुधारया वदनं गद्गद हृदया गिरा पुलकैर्निशितं वपुः कदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति युगायितं निमीषेण चक्षुषा प्राविश्यायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे आश्लिष्य वा पादरतां पिनष्टु माम् अदर्शनं मर्महतां करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदधातु लम्पटो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव नापरः
Haribol, glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. The Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
Oh my Lord, your holy
Oh my
name
Lord,
alone
your holy
can
name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by chanting your holy name. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
One should chant the
one
holy name
should
of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
Oh Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service birth after birth. Oh son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms of your lotus feet. Oh my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up? And when will the hair of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? Oh Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly in his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally. Sri Sikshashtami ki jai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai.
Jai,
Jai.
Jai.
Bahujanma Kareyadi Shavana Kirtan, Tabutana Paya Krishna Pade Premadan. If one is infested with the 10 offenses in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, despite his endeavor to chant the holy name for many birds, he will not get the love of God, that is the ultimate goal of this chanting. The 10 offenses against the holy name are as follows. The first offense is to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord.
Second time is to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu.
It opens to disobey the order of spiritual master.
Fourth offense is to blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version.
Consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination.
Sixth offense is to give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord.
commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord.
8th offense is to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna one of the auspicious ritualistic activities offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, karma kanda.
To instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name.
10th offense is to not to have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema. Let us offer our respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and they are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo cha Vaidnanam bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Ananta Gaudiya Vaishnava Ki Jai, Shila Prabhupada
Jai.
Ki
Jai.
Jai, Gaurav
Jai.
Chaitanya, Hari Bol.
Hare Hare. Thank you so much,
Thank you so much.
devotees.
Hare
Thank you. Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
A nice reading session. Hari